Okay, so the last class we discussed iterative statements, and before that conditional statements, and before that we discussed a variable. Okay, you know how to declare a variable, right? So if you want to declare any variable, you are just writing that variable name. Okay, so for example, I want to store employee number, so I'm just writing my variable name as v_employee number. Okay, it's not mandatory to write like this only. Okay, but I'm just following some standard. V for variable, and followed by I return a text empno. By seeing that, I'll come to know I'm going to store employee number value in this, and by seeing that v, I'll come to know it's a variable. Okay, now then what you are writing? You are writing some data type to that. For example, number I'm writing. So means I'm going to store numeric data in this variable. Okay, and also how many values it will hold? Only one value at a time, right? So we discussed long back. Variable is a temporary storage unit, and it can hold only one value at a time. If you want to store one more value, then automatically what will happen? It will overwritten by the new value. Okay, so old value will be not there, new value will be there. Simply to say the latest value will be there by replacing the old value, right? So that is what a normal variable. Okay, so now it's nothing but kind of simple variable, right? So now what we are discussing, extension to that. Okay, we'll see now. I'm just writing a program, and then we'll discuss about this extension of data types. Let me connect to this. Okay. Let me get connected. Today class also definitely we are going to use in real time. You may not get a question in interview from today class, but definitely you are going to use this topic also in real time. Okay, now same requirement. I just want to fetch 3 columns of information for a particular employee number. Okay, so what I'm doing, directly I'm writing begin, because I don't know whether I need declare or not. So first let me start with this, so that I'll come to know what are is required. So what I'm writing, select employee number, employee name, okay, and salary. 3 columns of information from EMP table. Okay, so but when we are writing this, definitely we need 3 variables to store these 3 values, right? So definitely, so I'm going back now, declare, and I'm declaring v employee number data type to store employee number, and then I'm writing v name, and it's a varchar 2, size of 10, v shall number. Okay, now after selecting the 3 columns of information, I am loading into v employee number, e name into v e name, shall into v shall. And also, at a time we can get only one record, right? So if you are trying to fetch more than one record, it's not possible here. Let's see, I'm just executing. Of course, it will throw the error. Okay, so the same error we discussed so many times. Exact fetch returns more than requested number of rows. So as of now, your select statement has to return only one record at a time. Okay, only one record at a time. So what I'm doing, I'm writing where employee number is equal to, you can write particular employee number. Otherwise, if you want to pass that number at runtime, you can use this variable. Okay, so I used that variable, post variable. I'll pass that employee number input later while executing this program. So now I am executing. It is asking for a number. I am passing 7902. So what will happen? This 7902 will be going to this where class, where employee number is equal to 7902 will happen, and your data will come here. Okay, so of course we have not connected to this DBMS output. That's why you are unable to see, but otherwise that's fine. If you want, I'll execute it again. Okay, so why we are unable to see now also? Anyone? Yes. Why it is not showing the output?
We cannot write DBMS output, sir.
Okay. We also discussed select statement will just fetch the data and we'll keep in the buffer kind of place. Okay, so that buffer is nothing but, that's why we are using here into class to store that data, to store the data, whatever it is fetching. Okay, so in case of SQL, that will fetch and displaying directly. But here in case of PLSQL, we have to fetch that data and then you have to store it in like this. Okay, so then you can use this data wherever you want. Okay, so if you want to print that, definitely we have to use this inbuilt package DBMS output dot put underscore line. Okay, let me write all those. V employee number, V name, V shall, done. I am executing again, passing same number. Okay. Okay, so now it is printing output. Okay, good now. So now the thing is, we have declared 3 individual variables to store these 3 columns of information. Okay. Okay, so forget now about all these 3 variables. Let us think about only one variable. Okay, so first we'll take this V employee number variable. How many values we can store? We already discussed it can hold only one employee number, only one value at a time. Okay, that's fine. For example, there is another variable VE name. This also can hold only one value at a time. Okay, but if you want to store these 3 values together, now I'm not talking about there are 10 employees and I don't want to store 10 employee numbers or 10 employee names. Okay, I'm telling about only one record. So for example, so this is the output we got, right? 7902 4th 3000. So this is completely one record, right? So nothing but one value. So can I store this one value in this one variable or not? Okay, yes, you can store in one variable if it is really one value. Okay, while printing it is looking like this, but while fetching, we are fetching all these 3 columns individually, right? These 3 are individually we are fetching. This is not 3 together we are fetching. Okay, if you are fetching all 3 columns as a one value, then you can store the. So ultimately, so what is the variable capacity now? One value. Okay, so whatever it is, you can store, you can hold only one value. Okay, so what we are going to now discuss, I'm just deleting all these variables, same program. I'm going to declare a new variable which can hold one complete record. Okay, complete record means this is nothing but one complete record. So for example, here we got this output. This is nothing but one record. That record can have any number of columns, no problem. But one row, one record is nothing but one row I'm telling. Okay, not about the column. I'm telling about one complete row. That row can have multiple columns also, no problem. Okay, so what I'm going to do now? Okay, otherwise let all these three variables like this only. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to club all these three as a unit, one unit. Okay, so that is nothing but I'm doing it by using type. Okay, it's a different keyword for us. We are going to get this keyword multiple times while discussing another chapters also. Now type, any type name you can give. We'll discuss what is this. Okay, and we are discussing about record type, data type. Okay, so I'm giving is related to emp table and record, so I given emp underscore record underscore type. If you want type name is, okay, and which type it is, record type. This is extra line for us, that's it. Type name is record. So then what I'm doing, I'm keeping all these three in braces like this. Okay, and when I was declaring this variable alone, what I was doing, I was keeping a semicolon at the end. Okay, but now I'm not keeping semicolon there because this is not individual. I'm just using them inside of this record. Okay, and semicolon at the end of it. So what is this? This is nothing but a data type for me now. Okay, so what is my data type in this? This is my data type. How you are using number, varchar to date like this, the same way I declared my own data type here. Okay, it's nothing but a record type. Okay, so what is this? Whatever the name I given here, emp underscore rec underscore type, emp rec type, whatever the name I given, now onwards it is going to act like as a data type for me in this program. Okay, so what I'm going to do now in the next line, now my data type is ready. Okay, I am writing here one variable name. Okay, v emp underscore record. So because I'm going to store one record, complete one row information, so that's why I given name like that. Now what is the data type? This is the data type for me. I'm not going to write number, varchar and all. This is my data type, that's it. Okay, I'm just repeating. First I'm defining a data type here, and I'm using that data type here for another variable. Okay, and how I'm defining this data type? Using this statement, syntax type name is record, followed by inside I'm telling this is not required to write v underscore and all these things, because these are all not variables now. Okay, inside these are all not variables. You can remove them, no problem. You can give any name, no problem inside. Okay, but I'm just giving a structure for this data type. Okay, so like this you can add whatever you want, how many columns you want to store in that record type, that many variables or that many things you can keep inside, no problem. So as of now I return these three. Okay, if you want we can do one more thing. I'm not writing v underscore or something, department number, sorry, number, one more. Okay, and even here also I'll remove it. Okay, what will happen if I remove it? You'll get confusion later. Let it be. I'll tell you what is the confusion. Let it be, but you can write anyway. Okay, so now we have 4 columns inside of this data type. So what does that mean? This data type, wherever I'm using to a variable, so here I'm using that data type for this variable. So which means I can hold completely that 4 columns of information in that variable. Okay, so basically one variable can hold only one value at a time, but now this variable is going to hold one complete record. Okay, but in this example that record is nothing but these 4 columns of information. Okay, so now we'll go down in the begin section. So before I was storing the 3 columns of information into these 3 variables. Now, no, I'll be using this one variable only. That's it. And here one more column is there, right? Let's take that also, department number. Okay, so these 4 columns of information I am fetching and storing into this one variable. Is clear to everyone? Okay, so now the capacity of this variable is one complete record. Okay, so that complete record is nothing but, again I'm repeating, these 4 columns as of now in this example. Okay, so because whatever the structure you are giving for your data type, that is going to be the capacity of your variable here. Now everything is same. Okay, I'm just executing. Let's see what will happen. If any error comes, then we'll see what to do. Asking for employee number, let's pass the same number, say okay. Okay, some error is there. Let's see. Okay, now what is the error? You can see line number 15. Okay, line number 15, identifier V employee number must be declared. Okay, somewhere you are using V employee number and it is asking that must be declared. Of course, if you are using any variable in the program, that should be declared first, then only you can use it. Otherwise, that should be a bind variable. Okay, so we are using that V employee number here while printing this. That's why the error is coming, because there is no V employee number, right? Okay, so what we can do now, where is this output? We are fetching this complete record from EMP table and storing into this single variable. Okay, so what I'm doing now, I'm removing all these. I'm just printing that because data is now there only, right? So let me clear this error and executing again. Let's see what will happen. Now we got a different error, and I think you people know already this error. Okay, same line number 15 means nothing but same dbms output.put line. Here only that error is coming. So that line number 15, and it is telling wrong number are types of arguments in call to put line. Okay, can anyone tell me what is that mean? We discussed already about this error. Anyone? No one knows? Means you're not practicing. In an interview also, definitely will be having a question. What are all the errors you faced while working? If you are applying for a fresher, the same question will be there. What are all the errors you faced while practicing? Okay, so if it is real time, if it is practicing, whatever it is, same errors only will come, right? So that you should know the errors. This error already we discussed. Okay, again I'm repeating now. So wrong number are types. Wrong number of arguments in call to put line is clearly telling here you are passing wrong number of arguments here. How many I'm passing? Only one. Okay, only one. We know already put line will accept only one argument. That's why we were concatenating. If we are printing multiple items, then we were concatenating. But of course, we have only one here, but still it is throwing error. Okay, yes, we are passing only one. But what is there inside of this VEMP rec? There are 4 columns of information. Okay, select statement is right. It is fetching 4 columns of information for that employee number and holding in this variable. Our variable capacity is fine, it's working fine. But when you are trying to print that variable, it's throwing the error. Okay, because there are 4 columns of information inside that variable. So what you do, what you need to do now? So while printing, there is no another option for us. We should print only one value at a time. So what I'm doing, that variable name dot, okay, you know, employee number is getting stored in here now. Okay, so what is the data type? EMP RecType, right? EMP RecType structure is this. Okay, so whatever the structure you given, that structure you have to follow now. For employee number, I written there V employee number, so I'm writing that. Okay, for e name, we'll write later. First, let us see whether it is working fine or not. If it is working fine, then we'll go to another. Okay, let me execute. 1 second. Let me execute. Asking for number, passing 7902, say okay. Now you can see successfully completed, and even it printed here 7902. Okay, it's printing 7902. Good. Now we'll do remaining also. What I'm doing, my complete data, that record is in this variable, but while printing, I have to print one by one only. So this variable dot, these things I have to write. Whatever the name you written here, that name you have to follow. Okay, that's why just to avoid the confusion, I written V underscore again there. Okay, so otherwise you can just write like this also, department number, or whatever the name you want, you can write it, no problem. Okay, so for your purpose, I'm writing here salary. Okay, now next one is V ename I have to print. So I'm doing same concatenation. Okay, let me take this main variable, which is having our data dot V underscore ename. So this is there, actually there. Now concatenation again, V emp rec dot. Next one is salary. So I'm printing that. Okay, you may think you have to write it as it is, not required. Okay, so I written salary and then concatenation again. And the last one is department number. 1 second. Okay, sorry, it's not copied. Huh? Okay, variable name dot, that inside whatever it is, department. That's it. Okay, let me clear this. And now I'm executing this again. 7902. Say okay. Successfully completed. And even you can see 7902 Ford 3020. Both are numbers, right? Salary and department number. That's why this completely mixed. Okay. So if you want some comma or space or something between that, you have to concatenate that space again. Okay. So as of now, that is not required. But only the thing is now you have to concentrate here. What is happening? Okay. So finally, so one more time, I'm just repeating. We are discussing about record type variable. Okay. Record type variable. So we know already a variable which can hold only one value at a time. Now we are discussing a record type variable. So nothing but first I'm defining a record type here using this syntax. I'm defining a record type. So in this example, so I define a structure with 4 columns here. This column names anything. Okay, it's not. It may be your table column name or any name. So actually the table is having for salary column, it is just SAL, but I written salary completely. Okay, so it means it's not required to write V underscore. It's not required to exactly the column name. You can write anything. You just need to define a name followed by the data type. So because ultimately it is going to hold same thing. Okay, so this employee number, for example, going to store in this first one like that. Okay, and employee name is going to be stored in this second one. It may be anything, name may be anything here. Okay, but whatever the sequence you have here, while fetching, same as it is going and sitting in this. Okay, so the data type need to be same. That's it. Name may be anything inside, but data type you have to follow. No confusion, right? So first I'm defining a record type here, and whatever the record type I have now, that record type here I'm using nothing but I'm assigning to a variable. Like how I will use number varchar to the same way I am assigning this data type now to this variable. And that variable I'm using here to store my data. Okay, so now I'm storing complete one record, right? So that's why this is record type variable. And while printing, of course, we have to print one by one only. So this variable is already having completely your record. But while printing, you have to print one by one column only. So that's why what I did, that variable name dot, whatever you written here to print or to hold employee number, that one. This may be anything. Okay, so I'll tell you, just to tell that I return just NO. Okay, just NO. Otherwise, I'll write like this ENO. Okay, I'm executing this again. Asking for employee number. Let me pass a different number. Say okay. What is the problem? Let's see. V employee number must be declared. Okay, that's fine. Because here we return ENO, right? So while printing here, also we have to change. Okay, ENO. That's it. Now let's see now. 7839. Okay, you can see successfully completed and printing. Okay, so that means you no need to worry about what is the name here. Okay, you need to worry about only data type, and by whatever the name you gave here, that name. Here first I written ENO. Here I first written employee number. Okay, so means whatever I'm fetching first column in select statement, that is going to here, and second whatever I'm fetching, that is going to here. That means same sequence. That's it. So data type should be same in the sequence. Fine. Understood, right? What is mean by record type? Any confusion? Oh, there is no confusion, right? Okay. I'm going back to the same program. Okay, and I'm just removing this entire record type. Okay, just removing this entire record type. Done. Now, same variable, whatever is there, let it be, no problem. Okay, but I am not working with record type, so I just want to remove it. Just let it be VEMP. That's fine. Okay, and here what I'm doing, I have to define a variable, means definitely I have to write a name. So I written a name here. Then what you need to write? You need to write a data type. We discussed now two types of variables. Already we discussed a variable which can hold only one value at a time. For example, like this. And also just now we discussed a variable, record type variable. So means first you have to define your record type and then assign that record type to a variable so that it can hold that complete record that we discussed. Now the same thing, record type only, but extension to that. Okay, so I'm going to use one of the attribute of record. Okay, so this record type is having some attributes, so I'm trying to use one of them. Okay, so nothing but that is percentile row type. Okay, semicolon. Okay, so what is this attribute? This attribute name itself, it is telling it is a row type. Okay, you know already what is meant by row, right? Row means it will be horizontal thing. That row can have n number of columns, right? That row can have n number of columns. That n number of columns you know need to define now. In last example, what we did, we return complete structure, whatever you want as a record type, then we assigned. Like in last example, we defined 4 columns for that record type and we used. But now there is an attribute for us to help. I want a complete row. Okay, complete row, irrespective of 4 columns, 5 columns, like that. I want complete row. Okay, that may have 100 columns, no problem for me. But I'm not going to write all those column names with the data types in my record structure now. Okay, that is the advantage of this row type. And for example, I'm working with EMP table data. So I return EMP percentile row type. So what does that mean now? Now, when I'm writing this EMP percentile row type, this variable v underscore EMP is having a capacity now to hold one complete row. Okay, let's see how many columns are there in our EMP table. First we'll see. This is our EMP table, right? I'll show you by describing that. Describe EMP. Oh, sorry, it's completely going for execution. Let me execute only till that. Let it show. Okay, you can see these are all the columns. Let me count 2, 3, 4, 5. No. Okay, wait. Let's go down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 columns right now in our EMP table. Okay, so means when I'm writing EMP percentile row type, this 8 columns of information can store in this variable. Okay, one complete row. That row can have any number of columns, no problem. Okay, right now in our example, our EMP table is having 8 columns. That 8 columns of information is nothing but one row. Okay, so now I'm going to the begin section and I'm fetching these 4 columns of information: employee number, employee name, salary, and department number, and storing into this from EMP. That's it, where employee number is equal to this. Done. And here also we have to change, right? Because we don't know. We don't have all these things. So I'm just closing it. And I don't want to print also right now. So I commented that line. Okay. So to comment that statement, what I did, I just written 2 hyphens so that Varahi is not going to execute that line. Okay. Now let me clear these outputs and execute. And we'll see if anything goes wrong or not. I'm executing this program, asking for employee number, then okay. Okay, we got now error. Let's see what is this error. Line number 5. Error is at line number 5. What is this line number 5? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is nothing but into statement. Okay, so there is an error at into statement now, line number 5. And the error is too many values. There is nothing to understand much about that error. It's clearly telling too many values. Okay, now you need to understand one thing here is what is the capacity of this VEMP. Okay, it can hold one complete record. Exactly. But one complete record means how many columns of information right now in this example. In this example, we have 8 columns. So the capacity of it is complete 8 columns of information. Okay, but how many columns of information sorry, how many columns you are trying to fetch here? Only 4. Okay, only 4, but the capacity is here 8 columns of information, so not matching. So what you have to do then? Okay, so we'll see what to do. I'm just opening a new page here, new page of that same connection. What I'm doing, I'm just writing star. You know what is meant by star already in SQL. Star is nothing but equal to one complete record, one complete row. That row can have any number of columns, no problem. It is going to fetch all the columns of information. And of course, here also same thing. This is having that much same capacity. So it is fetching one complete row and holding here. Okay, let's see now. I want to enable this output. Is done. Executing. Let's see 7902. Okay. PLSQL procedure successfully completed. Good. But of course, it's not printing anything because we commented this. Let me enable it now and write inside what you want to print. Where is our data? Right now, our data is in this variable. Okay. And also, you know, this variable is having all columns of information inside. So definitely your DBMS output will throw an error. Okay, see, same error, wrong number of arguments in call to put line. So because this is having more than one value inside, definitely, right? So while printing, what I'm doing, VEMP dot employee number is nothing but a column name. Okay, column name in the inside of that EMP table. Let me same way VEMP dot ename. Same way, let me print one more column, enough. VEMP dot sal, enough. Okay, so like that, if you want to print remaining columns also, you have to write in the same way. Okay, so I just written as of now 3 columns. Let's see what will happen. It is asking for employee number. I passed, successfully completed, and you can see the output also now 79024 3000. Okay, I am fetching complete record of 7902, and of course that complete record information, that complete employee information is there now in this variable, but only while printing, I am printing only these 3 columns. If you want to print another columns, no problem, you can print it. Okay, for example, I don't want to print department number. Let me print a job. Okay, execute. Let me pass a different number. You can see now successfully completed, and you can see 7839 king 5000 president. Understood what is meant by percentile row type? So when you are defining a data type using this percentile row type, okay, so then the capacity of that variable is going to be a complete row. Okay, one complete row. Now we'll go back to this old session. I don't want to fetch complete row. I want to fetch only these 4 columns of information like this. So then I define my variable using this percentile row type. So means all the columns of information can store. In this example, 8 columns. So my variable is having 8 columns of capacity, but I want to fetch only 4 columns. So then what can I do? It was throwing error, too many values. So then nothing to do. VEMP, use the same variable, write like this. VEMP dot employee number. For ename, to store what I'm writing, VEMP dot ename. Okay. For salary, I'm writing VEMP dot salary. Just to get one error, I written something like that salary. Let's see what will happen. VEMP dot department number. Okay, now let me clear this error and clear this output. Okay, not required. We'll go to this. Asking for a number 7902, save okay. Okay, as expected, we got an error, and the error is invalid identifier. Okay, and let's go up. The error is at same line number 5. Line number 5 is nothing but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into statement. Okay, this is line number 5, and error is component salary must be declared. Okay, it is thinking like a variable. Of course, that is a variable only. Then only it can hold a value. That is a variable only, but it's telling salary must be declared. But it is not asking about employee number, e-name, and department number. It is asking only about this salary. Okay, because VMP is a variable, but inside of this VMP, what is the structure? All the columns only. Understood, right? In last example also we did in the same way. Whatever the names you are defining to define a record type, same names only you have to use. The same way here also, we are not writing anything manually here while defining this variable. Okay, automatically what will happen? Whatever the column structure is there in EMP table, that same structure will be there now in this variable. Okay, so that's why for EMP, NO, e-name, no error is coming. Salary it is coming because the column name actually in EMP table is SAL. Okay. Now let's go back and execute this program again. 7902. Say okay. Now it's successfully completed. Why it's not printing? It's not enabled. Yeah, I think it's connected to something else. Let's see. Wait. Okay, now it's connected. Let me execute it again. See now why it is not printing.
Enable the DBMS output line.
Oh, okay. I forgot actually. Okay. Anyhow, it's successfully completed, and I closed this connection also. Let me connect it back. Okay, connected back. Now we'll print. Okay. So while printing, same logic, same thing. Already you are storing all these 4 columns of information in these 4 variables individually, right? Same variable, but we are storing in 4 different names. So same thing here I'm using, just removing semicolon, sorry, comma, and writing, sorry, concatenation operator. I'm removing that, just writing concatenation operator. That's it. Let's see now. I'm executing. Same number 7902. Okay, successfully completed for 3020. It's clear, right? So I'm just repeating once again what is meant by percentile row type. If you define a variable using percentile row type, then your variable can hold one complete record. That's it. Okay. Let me copy this program to you, and then we'll go to one more last thing, percentile type. Okay. So now we'll discuss about another one, percentile type. I'm going back to the same Varahi, and here let me clear these outputs first. Okay, and here we discussed now percentile row type. Okay, now what I'm going to do, just removing this row and just only the type. Okay, just percentile type. Okay, so what is the use of this percentile type? Same like percentile row type only. Percentile row type is giving flexibility to store one complete record, but percentile type is giving you to store Same, only one column. So then what is the use of this? I can write simply number or varchar2 by declaring a variable. Okay, but you no need to write that number varchar2 date. When you don't know exactly what is the data type for that column, you want to store a value, then you can just write emp table dot, for example, employee name. Okay, emp table dot ename percentile type. Okay, and my variable name is here for example v ename, but actually I have to write varchar2, but I don't know exactly the data type. What can I give? Okay, so what I'm writing emp table dot ename percentile type. So means whatever the data type is there for ename column in emp table. Okay, whatever the data type is there for ename column in emp table, that data type and size of that automatically will be captured to this variable. Okay, same like how we are declaring your variable individually, but using this we are getting a flexibility. You don't need to worry what is the data type I have to give and how much size I have to give, because if you write v ename followed by varchar2 of size 10, for example, and imagine there is a name which is having 12 characters inside data, then definitely it will throw error because your variable capacity is less than that name. Or data type is something wrong. You are giving number now, but there is a character inside. It will throw error. So what now we have flexibility here. You don't need to worry about all those things, how the data is inside and what variable, what data type or size I have to give to my variable. You don't need to worry. So simply what you need to do, write that table name dot column name. So automatically whatever the data type and size it is having for that column in that table, the same thing, same structure will be assigned to that variable. Is clear what is meant by percentile type? So now here, anyhow, we are fetching these 4 columns of information, right? Same you can fetch, but you need to declare that remaining variables also. Okay, so let me do. Okay, so I'm fetching 3 columns. Let me fetch remaining. Let me declare remaining 2 also. Okay, v employee number I'm writing. If you want, you can write directly number. Okay, otherwise it belongs to emp table. Okay, employee number column percentile type. Okay, and salary visa emp table dot sal percentile type. So here you can use all those variable names: v employee number, v name, v sal. Done. I'm executing it. Successfully completed? No. What is the problem? Okay, output is problem. Let me take all these columns as it is. And let's concatenate it. Okay, I'm executing this again. Okay, successfully completed now, and even it is printing the output. Okay, so that is the purpose of percentile type. But you need to remember one more thing here. For example, this v name only. Okay, I am assigning the structure for this variable using this emp table dot ename. Okay, imagine ename is varchar2 only, but it is having a size of 10, for example, in emp table. So your variable structure is now varchar2 of 10, which means you can use this variable when you are working with emp table data. No problem. It will not throw any error at any point of time. Okay. But if you want to use this same variable for another purpose with a different table, okay, for another purpose with a different table, then it may throw an error because that different table may have that column data type or size different. So then it may throw error. If it is supporting, then no problem. Okay, if it is not, it will throw error. So that's why we have to use only this percentile type only for a specific situation like this. Means when you are working with a specific table. Okay, if you want to use the same variable again, then better to write same normal varchar 2 of some big size 1000. Varchar 2 of 1000 you can write. Okay. Any confusion till here? No questions? No confusion? So this is our percentile type. Let's go here. So this is nothing but whatever we discussed today, record. Okay, so using record, we are storing a complete record, but manually we are specifying all the columns of structure here. First, we are defining our record, how we need to be, and then we are assigning this type to one variable. And thereafter, we discussed about one of the attribute percentile row type. Using that, we can hold one complete record. Okay, you no need to define your column structure. Automatically, it will take out from your table. Another one is percentile type. Same like a percentile row type only, but here it is taking only one column structure. Okay, and so this is nothing but called composite data types. In composite data types, today class we discussed records. Okay, and then there is one more thing, very important thing for us, that is collections. Okay, these collections we'll discuss at the end of PLSQL. Okay, collections we'll discuss at the end of PLSQL, and the next class we'll be discussing cursors.